Good evening, greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP, greetings from the Institute of Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till an honorable knowledge seeker. Today I am your host for the evening. My name is Batum Dash. I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. And I am wishing everyone Happy New Year. IGP is a social and certified international educational and training institute. In last years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seekers from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organization. Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe this not effective training is one skill just backward formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate professional generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to students, job seekers, job holder, and also for learners, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. IGP is one of the famous online institute from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product; it's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinars, seminar courses, award, quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like your own portfolio website, resume builder, cover letter, motivation letter, and wall knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge, which can upgrade all day. Kids learning game website, free course, convert sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement our training program, webinar, and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of youth and to promote the education of their abilities and personality. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the Institute of Global Professional. We believe that knowledge is level, light, and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and research them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner represent. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. IGP members are committed to offering effective best quality service and continual improvement so that the individual who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 1,987 webinars successfully. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 1,987 webinars successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well-wisher, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.edurgp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account or logged in, you cannot enjoy our service. So create an account for once with profile information. Note that with profile information, you will enjoy all feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now on, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace slide. You have to join directly on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified e-certificate. Now it's easier and time-bounded because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. After that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate, otherwise not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you are an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate, speakership certificate. If you are a host of IGP, you can download your certificate of gratitude. If you are an online live quiz competition winner, you can download a certificate of participation. If you are selected for a lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in an award function, which organized combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can install PPA and download 18 types of business certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influence in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of Achievement, IGP Knowledge Seeking Gambit 2020, 2021, and 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching English as Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tool, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, The New Trend in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, Office Social Leadership and Managerial Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research Comprehension Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8. Art Art in Teaching is special program in the Art Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Touring Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level quiz with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teachers, education tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our previous student services website for free and many more. Dear IGP well-wisher, we promised previously, but lack of technical problem will late sending on time. This is great opportunity to collect your previous condition. We solve all issue from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything. You can check out the video for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to check all button and pages on our website. She like and sell be benefited. Thank you, but note that without an account or login, you cannot enjoy yourself. At present, we are going to start our 1988 webinar, which name is Bylaws of Research for Societal Development, and today our speaker's name is Dr. Usman Mohidin KS, and he is from India. Before I hand over the stage to our speaker, sir, I'll share a very little bit about him. Associate Professor, Department of Management Strategies, Studies, Sri Sai Ram Engineering College, India. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation.
Ma'am,
Hello,
thank
sir.
you, ma'am. Ma'am, good evening, ma'am. Is it audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. So the stage is you. You can start your presentation now.
Okay. Before entering into the presentation, happy and prosperous New Year to all. So, just we'll start with the presentation. Let me present the screen. The full screen is visible. Is the entire screen visible, ma'am?
Yes, sir. It's visible.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, what is the duration of presentation?
Sir, you can take your time. There is no time limitation.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Okay. So we'll enter into the presentation. So it is bylaws of research for societal development. So here we are going to talk about the insight into the research. Okay. So why research is required? The main thing is we have wants. The wants are innumerable, unlimited, whereas the resources are limited. That is, say for example, I have a small piece of chalk piece and I have 30 seconds time and I have to cover the entire board, say blackboard. Okay, then I have to do research. How I am going to allocate the resource, that is both time and the chalk piece. Whereas assume another example where there is no limitation. I have boxes and boxes of chalk piece and I have huge time lapse, say months and years of time. Then I need not plan much. So the here the need for the researchers The mainly because of the unlimited wants and limited resources. We have limited fund, but we have to allocate to different portfolio. Okay, we have limited time, but we have to spend on different spectrum. So that is why the research is required. The research, that is re plus search it again and again and again. In fact, the shape of, if I'm going to depict the diagram in that I'm going to depict research in a diagrammatic format, then it will have a elliptical shape. Elliptical shape is similar to the spiral binding shape, the spiral in the binding we have done. Okay, so it will start at one end, say for example a problem, and it will search for the answer, but at the other end it will not end, it will give another start, that is there will be a new problem. It can be a problem or a scope for improvement. So research can be any effort whatever we have taken to optimize, to find solution. So the definition of researchers, so these are the even steps also: defining and redefining problem, formulating hypothesis, collecting, organizing, analyzing data, making interpretation, and reaching a conclusion such that we test whether the formulated hypothesis fits into the theory or not. Okay, so this is the introduction about research. Now we will see the research process. So here we have identified the research topic. Say for example, my research topic or area of interest is something pertaining to marketing. Okay, then I have to select the research problem. Say for example, research problem is a for example, the customers are satisfied toward dissatisfied towards specific mall. Okay, example. So if pertaining to that, I will collect literature survey. From that literature survey, I will try to find answers, and I will try to collect variables. If answers are already given, then no need for the further research. If not, I will take the variables from various sources, and I will consider the variables based on the literature survey and my problem, and then I will carry out the study. A literature survey can be, it can be conceptual or empirical. Empirical is we analyze the collect and analyze statistical data and we give results. Conceptual is the theoretical background. Then based on the literature survey, I will frame the problem statement, and then I will go for objectives. That all we will see in forthcoming slides. Then I will go for hypothesis. The hypothesis, it's a tentative logical conclusion that we will see. Then we will see, we will prepare a research design. It is like a blueprint. How I am going to do, what I am going to do, how I am going to split up the process, etc. Then determining sampling. Sampling is the process of, say, studying the entire population by picking up a random element. It can be many bases that we will discuss. So it is sampling is a process of withdrawing a part from a population. For example, when we cook, we will take a piece of rice or something. Say if I want to buy a cake from a shop, I will just taste a piece from the shop, from the particular piece, and based on that I will go for purchase. Then after determining the sample, I will collect data. There are n number of methods. Say it can be questionnaire, observation, projective techniques, interview, or it can be secondary data, etc. So execution of data, then I will organize the data before analyzing. If there is any missing number, that is the questionnaire is partially filled, incomplete, and I will treat accordingly. I will decide whether the researcher will decide whether it can be ignored or it can be included. Then analyzing of data. The analyzing of data, we have univariate, bivariate, and multivariate, and at last we will go for report preparation. So these are the content we are going to brush up for next 1.5 hours. So this is the entire content of the session. Next, we have, after the research topic and research problem, we will frame the literature survey. We will have the literature survey. Then based on that problem statement, then we will go for research objective. Objectives are the goal that you set. That is what you want to achieve, or what you want to check. That is, this is the purpose of the research. This is the thing which you are going to accomplish. The objectives can be primary objective and secondary objective. It can be, it need not be. You can have just one objective also. Secondary objective is a broken sub part of primary objective. For example, say primary objective is to evaluate the student satisfaction towards particular staff. Then secondary objective will be, say for example, to find out the effectiveness of material provided, to assess the cordial relationship with the student, to evaluate the knowledge on the subject, etc. So secondary objective helps to achieve primary objective. Okay, always objective will start with to plus verb, that is to evaluate, to assess, to find out, to determine, etc. Okay, then the characteristics of objective, it should be clear, it should be complete, it should be specific. What is specific? Say if I tell to student you have to score good marks, so it should be more concrete. Instead of telling good marks, you say you have to score above 80. What is good marks? It depends on student to student. Okay, it depends from situation to situation, subject to subject. Okay, so these are the some features of objectives. Next, moving on to hypothesis, it is the tentative logical conclusion about the problem, that is solution to the problem. Always we determine the relationship between two or more variable on the nature of phenomena. That is, we just form a generalized tentative conclusion, a proposition which is yet to be tested, that is put to test to determine. You can form a hypothesis from various sources. For example, theory, by going through the theories, various theories. Say for example, if you go through theories, the academic theory, you can form a hypothesis from observation, from analogies, what is prevailing in similar region, intuition. Then the findings of the study, where the findings of other study, our knowledge, the culture, the continuity of previous research or any other research. Okay, next we move on to research design. As I said earlier, research design is a blueprint. That is, before building or constructing a house, the engineer, develop blueprints. Similarly, before carrying out a research, the researcher has to give a detailed blueprint which should be logical, systematic, specific, and it should contain the methodology and objectives. So it is the plan, structure, and strategy of investigation to obtain answers to research. It guides the investigator in the process. So it guides the researcher in the process of research. In a simple word, it is outline of what the researcher is going to do. So few components of research, we will just go through. So the components of research, the content of the research report are somewhat similar. In content, we will give it in a chapterization format, and here we will see just of into components of research design. First one, introduction. Here we will give, say for example, if the study is pertaining to employee employee retention in information technology industry. Okay, then the introduction should be actually what is information technology industry, what is employee retention, how the information technology industry contributes to the country's development. Say, for example, FDI, employment generation, GDP contribution, and what is the effect of attrition. Okay, you can compare the attrition level across the sector and within the sector, that is from company to company in the same industry, and the attrition rate in different sectors. So from this also you can identify the problem statement. So then you have to give the variables of retention, and you have to give the theoretical overview here. Okay, this is the introduction. Then statement of problem, the need, or the, for example, say for example, the attrition rate in IT industry is 17%, which is comparatively higher when we compare to other sectors like automobile, healthcare, etc. So this study is done. Okay, then nature of study. Say it can be n number of studies are there, different types of research things. So here example we'll consider descriptive. So the how we are going to describe the characteristics of the considered parameters and population. Then the review of previous study, that is literature review, which can be again conceptual and empirical. Then scope of the study, what is the use? The research result can be used to by management of IT company, the employees, and other policy makers. Then objectives we have already seen. It is the goal. It always starts with 2 plus verb. Then conceptual model, that is before entering into the actual research, we can give a conceptual model, that is the relationship between variables. That is what we are going to test through structural equation modeling at the end. So for example, say we will consider the three variables that we will see, that is independent variable, moderating variable, and dependent variable. What is moderating variable? The variable which plays a role in between independent and dependent. Okay, we say it is partial mediation or full mediation. Okay, full mediation means only if the variable is present it will have impact. Partial mediation means even though the variable is not present, it will have impact. That is, independent variable will have impact on dependent variable. So conceptual model, say example, independent variables are attracting talent, developing talent, and sustaining talent. All these. Then moderating variable or mediating variable, we have organizational commitment. Then dependent variable, employee retention. Then we formulate hypothesis. So for example, here we can formulate hypothesis for the correlation, regression, and mediation. Okay, the hypothesis will be based on the test. If it is correlation, there is, say, null hypothesis, there is no significant relationship. If it is regression, there is no significant prediction. If it is ANOVA, say there is a, say, a relationship. Then if it is chi-square, there is no association, etc. Okay, there is no mean difference between, etc. Then sample selection. Here the population is, say I consider three companies. Okay, three IT companies. That company selection should be on some basis. For example, it should be based on revenue generation, FDI, or ranking given by NASSCOM or something. So it should have a logic. So only then you can select the company. From that company, you will have to select the samples. Okay. So regarding the sample selection, we will talk later. Then operational definition. What is operational definition? The purview of the variables or the concepts given. For example, teachers' satisfaction towards universities. Here, teachers means those who have experience more than 10 years. This is what the researcher has assumed, say example. So it can be anything. It can be even fresher also. But for this example, the researcher has considered teachers who have completed 10 years of service. Then geographical definition of concept if required. Then reference period for financial studies. Then methodology. Under methodology, we have research design. So it can be descriptive, exploratory, etc. Then tools for data analysis. Already I said bivariate, say univariate, bivariate, and multivariate. Then data collection, tools for data collection. That is, it uh, precedes the data analysis. Data collection can be primary or secondary. Primary are the data which we collect in original way. That is, we collect for our research. Whereas secondary data are the available data, already available data. We fetch that information according to the nature of study. Okay. Then data analysis I got given. Then chapter scheme. Chapter scheme, how we chapterize, how many chapters, and what are the content should be in each and every chapter. Okay, it can be any number of chapters. Say for example, it can 3, 4, 5, 7, 9. It can be any numbers. Okay, it all depends on the guide and the candidate, or sometime the university will give norms. So it's based on that. Then time budget, how much time are required to complete this, and financial budget, and report writing and bibliography. Bibliography is references. Okay. Then there are some ethical issues that should be considered in research. So those ethical issues are, say, putting pressure or coercing. For example, see, and I am conducting experimental research, then I will have subject. Say it can be a lab experiment. So, or it can be a field experiment. So I should not coerce the participant, that is subject, one who is helping for the research, one who is acting as a subject for the research. I should not coerce, or I should not put pressure to that individual. Okay. Then lack of prestige or loss of dignity. I should not cause damage to their self-esteem. Okay. Even though they are my subject, I should treat them with dignity. Then I should not deceive the subject deliberately. Okay, there should not be any deceiving facts. Then causing mental physical stress. I should not continuously ask them to work, whether it is a physical work or a mental work. They will get exhausted. Not allowing subject to withdraw. If the subject wants to withdraw in the middle of the experiment, I should give freedom. The researcher should give freedom to withdraw. Okay. Then using result to advantage. That is, I should not use the whatever result I have obtained to my benefit. That is researcher's benefit. Then I should explain the procedure clearly to the subject before starting off research. Okay, I should tell them the pros and cons, and if at all any side effects, I have to tell them the side effects also. So here, the ethical issues in experimental research design, it is, say, exposing the respondent to hazardous and unsafe environment. In continuation with that, so exposing to the unsafe environment, not debriefing after experiment. After experiment, the researcher has to debrief, and not preserving the privacy. Say a student, a part of my experiment research, that is, he is my subject. For that experiment purpose, he shares his family problem to me, and that should be kept confidential, and that should not be revealed in the faculty room or in among the students. Then not withholding the benefits. Any the university or government is providing any benefit to the subject, it monetary, the researcher has no right to withhold it. Okay, so these are the basic things of research design and the ethicality of research. Then coming to validity of finding, first we will discuss the validity and reliability. Okay, validity is defined as, are we measuring what we intend to measure? That is, what we measure, what we purpose to measure. For example, my study is pertaining to, say, non-performing assets in banks. Here, the one of the question is pertaining to parking facility. It doesn't contribute to the objective. So the validity of the finding states that the instrument should measure what it intends to measure, what it purposes to measure. Okay. Then internal validity, to what extent does the research design permit us to say, that is change in IV caused by change in DV. That is, any change in DV is caused by IV only. That is independent variable. DV is a dependent variable. Okay. Here we will see another concept called reliability. First of all, we understand the relationship between the reliability and validity. What is validity? For example, assume a student, say pass mark is 50 out of 100, of course. So if he secures 13 out of 100, then say 15 out of 100 and 82 out of 100. Here we say only 82 is valid because the pass mark is 50. He or she has to secure more than 50. So, what is reliability? A student who secures 23, 24, and 25 in subsequent test, is he or she reliable? Yes, it is reliable. Whether it is valid? No. Then another student secures 78, 82, 80. Is the student valid? Yes. Is the student reliable? Yes. Another student secures say 12, 42, 72. Is the student valid? Yes. In the case of 72, he is valid. But is the student reliable? No. Similarly, and for the score of 12 and 42, the score is not valid. So this is validity and reliability. So reliability talks about consistency, and validity talks about, are we measuring what we intend to measure? Okay. Here the validity is affected by few parameters. Say for example, history. Say for example, the study is about analyzing the reading comprehension effectiveness of grade 7 students. The, there may be a mix of students from different background, and one of the student whose family regularly reads, say, the English newspapers, whereas the other family, they don't buy newspaper, or they buy newspaper in regional languages, okay, the mother tongue. So there may be an influence. So it is history and maturation. As the time passes, whether the subject like it or not, whether the student like it or not, whether they pay attention or not, something will get imbibed. That is maturation. Say for example, our tables, max tables. Okay, at one point of time we would have struggled for 8 into 7, which is 56. Okay, but now we have a good flow over that, because it is due to maturation. We need not take extra effort. It is because of maturation. Then testing, the previous testing, the same instrument is given again and again. Then they may have exposure. Then same instrumentation. Then selection, how I select my respondent, whether it is going to be a top 25, or by example top 25 or bottom 25. It is statistical regression. And experiment mortality, the movement of subject from experiment. Then diffusion or imitation. Say assume a student of undergraduate program is attending a lab experiment, and the first student who completes the viva, once he or she comes out, other student will ask, what was the question asked, how was the external, whether it is easy or not, all those questions. So they will try to imitate the same answers. Okay, so that is diffusion or imitation of treatments. Then compensatory equalization, that is, say it is like scoring a cricket, that is chasing a cricket score. Okay, the first 25 overs, the target is say 300. First 25 overs you have secured only 100, and the remaining 25 overs you have to secure the remaining 200 in order to chase successfully. So it is compensatory equalization. Resentful demoralization of disadvantage, that is lack of cooperation. And compensatory rivalry, my peer group has completed, so I have to complete. Okay, so it will be done in a hurry manner. Okay, these are threats to internal validity. Then external validity is generalization, how much we generalize. Again the same factors repeat. Okay, Whatever internal validity threats applies, that applies to external validity also. Then we have some kind of validity types. Here we have the mostly we check face validity. Face validity is consulting the expert in that industry. Okay, and consensus validity, we see the unanimity, and sampling validity, we check the validity of the sampling units. Then convergent validity, that is, if we measure a different concept with same instrument, it should give different result. And discriminant validity, okay, and convergent validity, if we measure the same instrument, the same topic with different instrument, it should give similar result. And discriminant validity is, if we measure the different concept with same instrument, it will give different result. And we have statistical conclusion validity, which we increase by increasing the sample size. Criterion validity, whatever criterion we have considered, whether it is a valid or not. And predictive or pragmatic validity, it is how well it is predictive in nature, the study. Okay, then variables, there are many types of variable. Here we consider only these three types of variables. So variable, the name itself suggests it is varying in nature. That is, anything which takes differing values are called as variables. So types, we have independent variable. Independent variable, say we get back to our example, say for example, attracting talent, developing talent, and sustaining talent. Our title is, say, strategic approach to employee retention with a mediating role of organizational commitment in information technology industry. So here, attracting talent, developing talent, and sustaining talent are independent variable. Then we have dependent variable, which is employee retention. So then we have moderating variable, which plays a role in between the independent and dependent. That is, it has an effect on the dependent variable. Okay, these are the different variable, and we have many other types of variable. Just skip. Okay, next we have a scaling technique. Normally we use nominal, ordinal, okay, and interval ratio. Say nominal is, it is a process of just assign, and a measurement is process of assigning a number, okay, to a physical object. For example, a student registration number, a roll number, a jersey of a, say for example, football player. Okay, it is just a number, it doesn't carry any weightage. For example, a horse has a number 4271. It doesn't carry any weightage, it is just a number, like registration number for a student. It is nowhere given registration number 1 will perform well. No, it is just a number. So it is nominal. Next we will see ordinal. So nominal, then we have ordinal, where uh, we rank accordingly based on 1, 2, 3. Then interval, the space, how much gap they have, and ratio, the effectiveness. That is, Mr. A is twice good as Mr. B. So this is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Okay. The first one will have information, second will have ranking, third one will give proportionate interval, and fourth one will give the, that is a, for third one will give interval, and fourth one will give the ratio and proportion. Okay. Then we have different scaling techniques. Say for example, a rating scale, it is the basic scale which where we rate accordingly. Say for example, strongly agree. Graphic rating, the same can be depicted in a graphical format. Then itemized rating, okay, where we segregate based on the top and bottom. And comparative rank order, we rank. Constant sum scale, so constant sum scale, here the total point is 10. Assume the total point is 10. It will be distributed to 3 or 4 parameters. Assume I'm buying a soap, say it is Lux. Okay, so fragrance, say to 4 marks. Then color, 3 marks. Price, then it should be within 10. So 4 plus 3, 7. So 7 plus 3, 10. So it is a constant sum scale. Pictorial representation, the emojis can be paired comparison. It can be n into n minus 1. Then we have semantic differential, can be 11 points. Staple scale, plus 5 to minus 5, example. And Thurstone, LL Thurstone scale. And dichotomous S or no scale, or any scale with two options. Then categorical scale, so we have the gender, etc. Then checklist, Likert scale, it can be 5 point or it can be anything. Say for example, strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree and strongly disagree. And numerical scale, forced ranking scale, and Gutman scaling. Okay, then we have multiple and factor scaling. Social distance scaling, here we talk about the affinity or the repulsion between two or more social groups. Okay, next we enter into sources data collection. Sources can be primary data or secondary data. Primary, as I already said, oh sorry, as I already said, primary data are the data which we collect at original hand. That is, we collect for our study. Okay, it can be through, say, questionnaire, observation, interview, projective techniques, survey, etc. etc. Secondary data are the data which we collect from existing records. It can be government or private. It can be published or unpublished. It can be company website. It can be any source. Okay. Then data collection method, we have observation. Observation is different from seeing. In observation, we see, we hear, we perceive, and we comprehend. Okay, and it is a definition of observation. Observation is a systematic view of specific phenomena in a proper setting for a specific purpose. So that should be a specific purpose. There should be a proper setting, arrangements, say infrastructure, and there should be a specific phenomena, how I observe, how the researcher observe, and it matters. Then there are n number of observations. It can be participant observation. So say if at all I want to analyze the, say food culture or dancing pattern of tribal people, in participant observation I will eat the same food what the tribal people eat, and I will dance along with them in order to know the culture. Okay, the pattern, the food consumption habit, etc. That is participant. In non-participant observation, I will just be an observer. I will be at the place, physically present, but I will not take part in their customs. Okay. Then direct observation, where the researcher observed directly. Indirect observation, say through mechanical instrument. Whatever we see in Discovery Channel and Geographic Channel, National Geographic Channel. So here they will record it for 60 days and they will telecast maximum of say 6 minutes of video, say for example. Then controlled observation. Here we control the extraneous variable and we observe the main variable, that is independent and dependent. Uncontrolled, there is no control on extraneous variable, outside variables. Then non-behavioral observation, that is, say example, I can analyze the record, say it can be stock audit lighting and physical condition analysis, process analysis, or activity analysis. Then behavioral observation, you have non-verbal behavior, that is, say proximus, usage of space. Then haptics, usage of touch. Vocals, say the verbal things. Okay. Then or haptics, kinesis, the body language, etc. Okay. Then occults, the eye movement, linguistic behavior. Okay. All these things. These are the behavioral observation. Next, the form of data collection technique is projective techniques. Projective techniques are psychological techniques which helps to reveal controversial or the intimate information. It helps to get to know about the inner characteristics. Sometimes even the subject may not know about that. Here, there is they will not analyze the response alone, but also the background idea of it. So it has some basic functions. Barrier of unawareness. That is, the respondent may not aware that he or she is good at something. So it helps to remove the barrier of unawareness. Irrationality. Say a maximum, a maximum. The in marriage relationship, the boy's age should be higher than girl's age. If someone marry a elder woman, then that becomes a discussion for society, for some people at least. So it will help to remove the barrier of irrationality. So you can discover the subject's view pertaining to that. Okay, say for example, uh, if you want to engage a transgender for a work, okay, you are ready to do that, but you want to know the other employees perspective towards that, then you can conduct this, and if you want, you can convince them based on that, and you can employ them. Then barrier of inadmissibility. There are something which we will not accept. Say for example, at least accept publicly, to the public, uh, till some age at least. For example, the same sex relationship that can be discovered through projective techniques. Say next one, barrier of self incrimination. So here, assume the one of the researcher who is working as a teacher now, the professor now, if the question is posted, if she or he has copied in examination during his school or days, his or her school days, then he, that person will not answer genuinely. So that can be discovered through projective techniques. And barrier of politeness, this we do often, n number of time. We doesn't want to say it harsh to face. So being yeah, say decent groomed human being, we say it in a polite manner. That can be discovered through projective techniques. So there are n number of techniques. We have word association technique. That is, yes, word will be given, you have to write the response. There'll be a set of words, say 25, 50 words. You have to write the response within few seconds, say 2 to 3 seconds. The response should be recorded immediately. You should not change the response. Whatever strikes your mind first after hearing that word, you should record. For example, chalk piece. Some may say teaching, some may say it will help to hit my friend in my class. So based on that, their characteristic is judged. Okay, their personality is assessed. Then the development of word association test, that is extension, is sentence completion test. For example, say uh, I saw a dash. It can be anything. Okay. Story completion test. A further development of sentence completion, word association is sentence completion. Sentence completion development is story completion. Say, at night 10 o'clock, a boy and a girl standing with a suitcase in a bus stop. Okay. You have to complete. It can be anything. Okay. Then verbal projection test. You ask question about something, they have to answer for that. For example, what do you think about smoking? Someone may say it will you helps to vent pressure stress, and someone will say it will cause cancer. So what is their viewpoint towards something? Doll play, it is used for kids and illiterates, or slightly mentally retarded people. That is, here different shapes, different colors, and different dolls will be given. Okay, so they have to select the dolls based on their likability. Okay, they based on their interest. For example, Mother Teresa doll with different size, colors, etc. Similarly, say Osama bin Laden's doll, okay, Nelson Mandela dolls. So similar different dolls will be given. The kid or the illiterate people, whoever the subject, they have to select. Then quiz test examination. This we come across often in our educational institution. Role play. So the person will be asked to play the role of another person. Say for example, assume I am running a hotel. and I am finding the problem of giving change often. It is creating a problem daily, day routinely. So the manager will be asked to create the same problem in some other 7 or 10 hotel, and they will find the best solution from that. That is role play. So we often come across this kind of question: assume yourself as a HR manager, assume yourself as a manager, etc. Then sociometry, it tells it helps to reveal the attraction and repulsion of different social groups. Okay, content analysis, going through the diaries. Okay, earlier days diary, now it can be social media. If you want to know about the person, earlier you can go through the diary, books he read, etc. And now it can be a social medium. It can be a Facebook account, Insta account, Twitter, etc., etc. Then road search test, it is a ink card test, and all these are say ink card test. Based on that, in the impression, you have to infer a image. Say in childhood we would have played by seeing the clouds. We would have said to our friend or to our father or mother, we say, I can see a dog, I can see elephant there, etc. Okay, so these are the different types of ink plot test. Next, the another type of data collection is interview. Here interview is normally interview is a purposeful discussion between two or more people, but it is something different from HR interview, that is job interview. It is actually interview for the research purpose. Okay, so if I want to get the in-depth information about something, for example, the impact of tsunami and mental well-being of coastal people, then I can select interview, so that I will get to know in-depth information. It can be structured interview, that is all questions in the same pattern. Unstructured, it can be any way, that is the question can be randomly asked. Focus interview, okay, it focuses too much on information. Then clinical, so that is the some problem which can be diagnosed. Then depth interview, telephone interview, group interview, etc. Coming to the major data collection tool, questionnaire. Okay, so these are some rules and things. So now we will see examples for few questionnaire. First I will cover the demographic factor. First option should be exhaustive, and it should be inclusive of all of our possibilities. For example, say age. So age can be if the study is pertaining to users satisfaction towards broadbands, that is internet. Then even the child uses internet now. So you can decide who is going to be your respondent. If your respondent is, say, uh, the student who are from 6th grade or say 10th grade, then age should be 15 to say 21 or 20. Then next should be 21 to 25, next 26 to 30, etc. Because we should not cause strain or confusion to the respondents. If it is 15 to 20, then 20 to 25, the respondent who falls exactly in 20, he or she will be confused. That is why it should be like this. Then coming to the gender. So if the study requires transgender, you can include transgender. So it should be male, female, or transgender. Option A male, B female, and C transgender, or in vice versa, any cases. Okay. Next, marital status. Unless my study requires information, sensitive information, you need not ask for whether it is a, say, married or unmarried. It can be married, single, because it will hurt few people if they are widow or widower or divorcee, etc. If my study demands that information, you can fetch, or else the option can be, it can be single or married. In single, everyone will get covered. Say for example, single who is not at all married, married and divorced, widow, live-in, etc., etc. Okay, so the unmarried, it's simple. If my study is pertaining to, say, single parent attitude towards society, then in that case, uh, that question is required, whether divorcee or widower, etc., etc. So it depends on the nature of study, or else just do not kindle the emotions of respondent, because respondents are the one who are helping for a study. So if the study is pertaining to, say, uh, customer perception towards KFC, then there is no purpose in asking the that is marital status in depth. For that case, it can be single or married. That is more than enough. Okay, similarly, the question pertaining to kids, if it is, say, uh, say someone who doesn't have kid, then give not applicable. Kindly do not give zero. It may hurt them. Though the person who is sensitive, it may hurt them. So these are some input into demographic. So demographic questions you can include based on the nature of study. For example, the scenario I have given, say, the role of or talent management practices on employee retention with a mediating role of organizational commitment. Here, demographic variables can be, say, for example, company name, age, gender, income, say, marital status, then experience in this concern, organization, and you can also, if you want, you can have overall experience or overall experience alone. Okay, location, etc., etc. Say if my study is pertaining to say perception towards ice creams, then you can have family type, joint family or nuclear family, etc., etc. The question should be closed-ended question, because the open-ended questions is difficult to comprehend and analyze, and it should be simple and straightforward. You should not cause strain on the respondent. Okay, the same question should be simple to complex. There should not be any bias, so etc. Then types of question we have seen: open-ended, that is, kindly provide a valuable suggestion. What do you feel about something, etc., etc. There's an open-ended question, and closed-ended questions are, say, yes or no questions, and you have a rating question, ranking question, all those we will see. Dichotomous question, yes or no. Multiple choice question, say categorical, age. Okay, then declarative question, administrative question. It's again pertaining to department, designation, section, etc. Then classification question, target question, rating. So rating question is again 5-point scale or 7-point or 3-point, or it can be 2, 4, etc. Then ranking question, rank from while giving ranking question, you be very clear that you specify the ranking parameter, that is 1 being the highly preferred and 5 being the least preferred. State it clearly. Similarly, in rating question also, you have either the entire positive questions or entire negative questions. The interpretation will be easier. Okay. Similarly, if you want to test the psychological consistency of an individual, you can give the similar type of question in different order. That is, say, for example, question number 3 or question number 12. I would like to attend party. So, strongly agree, agree, disagree, say, strongly disagree. And another one, say, question number 68. I prefer to be alone. If they have given strongly agree there, here they have to give strongly disagree. So you can check the consistency of the respondent responses. Okay. Then you have contingency question. That is, only if this occurs, that is, happening or non-happening of one event affects the happening or non-happening of another event. So you have positively and negatively worded question. Then recall dependent question, which strains the memory. How do you feel when you joined in this school 25 years before? Okay. Then investigative question, leading question. There are some questions which you have to avoid: loaded question, ambiguous question, double barrel question. That is, do you like research methodology and human resource? The both should not be given in a single question. It should be given in a separate question, because if they like both research and human resource, they will give yes. If they don't like both human resource and research, they will give no. What if they like one and they don't like another one? Then there will be a confusion. Then long question, which is a lengthy question. For example, the FIFA World Cup during examination will not affect the performance of students in examination. Okay, it can be simple. FIFA World Cup will affect the student preparation. Okay, then double negative questions. Okay, next we'll come to, so now we have identified the problem, we have framed the hypothesis, and we have we have the data, we have collected data. Now we have selected the tool. Okay, now we are going to collect data. From whom we will collect? From our sample. Sample is the representation of population. That is, sample is defined as part from the population, withdrawing a part from population in order to draw conclusion about population. Okay, so that is sampling. Why sampling is required? Because in order to save time, it is very difficult to ask the responses from entire population. Say my study is the same one, employee retention in IT company. Say I consider three companies. Say the one company, the employee strength is 2 lakh 50. Another company it is 1 lakh 50. So 4 lakhs. Another company it is 50,000. So 4 lakh 50,000. If I have to cover entire respondent, it is very difficult. So it can save time, money, and it will make representation. So it will be representative, it should be small sampling error, and it should be viable, and it should control bias and generalized result. Okay, next, sample size determination. The one of the most trickiest zone in research is sample size determination. Whatever be the sample, there will be a question. Say for example, if sample size is 386, there will be a question, why not it is say 440, 450, or why it is 386, why can't it be 350? If the sample size is 500, then there will be a question. But the optimum sample size, it doesn't come from a formula. Even though we have a statistical formula, it is depends on the viability and situation. Okay, the objective of the study. Okay, so it is the trickiest zone. If it is too small, it will not serve the purpose. Assume I am taking the class of 60 students. So at the end of every topic or every concept, I'll ask the student whether they got it or not. So if I ask only one student, it will not serve the purpose. So out of 60, one doesn't represent the one student. Okay, if I ask all the 60, it will consume lot of time. So that should be optimum. Say for example, some 6 to 8, or at the most maximum 10. Okay, 5 to 8 or maximum 10. The sample size determination can be decided by some factors. For example, whether the universe is dispersed or unified, integrated. If it is dispersed, I have to have more number of samples. Then number of classes, how many sections, how many classes. That is, whether my population is divided into one class or few classes. There are more classes, more samples. Nature of study, whether I am going to do extensive study, then I can have more sample. If it is intensive, in-depth study, I can have only less number of samples. Then accuracy, more sample. Obviously, if I ask from 5 students whether they understood the concept or not, there will be representativeness. I am not denying that. But if I ask from 10 students, the representativeness will be more and the accuracy will be more. Then finance availability, how much finance I have and time I have. Then do I have a trained investigator, the enumerators? Okay, here I will tell about the enumerator. Enumerator is the one who helps you to fill the questionnaire. He will sit with the respondent and they will respond and he will mark. Say it can be used for illiterate people. Okay, so it can, whether we have a trained investigator or not. So if we have trained investigator, you can have more or it is less. Next, various types of sampling techniques is probability. Probability is also called as representative, or it is non-probability. Here we have simple random sampling. Okay. Next we have complex random sampling. Complex random sampling, the first one is systematic sampling. Here it is selecting nth element. This n can be any number except one. Why? Because if I select every element, it will become census. So it can be every second, every third, every 11th, or it can be every 1000. Okay, it can be any number. It can be every 57 also. So it is systematic sampling. These probability sampling is possible only when I have the entire list of population. Okay. Next one, stratified random sampling. It can be proportionate or disproportionate. Proportionate is fixed percentage. That is, see, I have a three stratas, three groups, 200, 100, 50. From every group, I will select 10. That is 20, 10, and 5. Disproportionate, it is based on the fixed number. That is, population is 200, 100, 50 in three classes respectively. So I will select 10 from each. Okay. Next, cluster sampling. Cluster can be multi-stage or single stage. Single stage cluster is when I divide the population into two groups. That is, for example, whole section, whole class into girls, boys. That is single stage. Multi-stages, in turn, the boys is divided based on the undergraduate background, and girls is divided based on the undergraduate background. Then area sampling based on the area. Double sampling, the collecting samples from already available data. Say I am doing a thesis PhD work and I have completed in IT industry. One of the students who is going to do a MBA project in same the IT industry, he can select the samples from my study, whatever data I have collected. That is, they can circulate the questionnaire to that person. Then replicated sampling. Then sampling technique, non-probability. Convenience is also called as accidental, though it is based on the convenience of the researcher. Okay, so easily accessible. Okay, next, purposive. You have judgment sampling and quota sampling. Say judgment sampling is those who have completed 10 years of experience. Say those who have earned 5 crores minimum per annum. Okay, then quota sampling, you will give quota system to each and every category. Then snowball sampling. Here, snowball sampling is used when it is very difficult to track the respondent. For example, uh, customer satisfaction towards Lamborghini or Rolls Royce. It is very difficult to track. So I will find my samples through referral system. Okay, then spatial sampling, it is similar to area sampling, and saturation sampling is also called as census, covering the entire population. Okay, next we'll come to data analysis. So in data analysis, we have data preparation. So data preparation is similar, like editing, that is, it consists of editing, coding, etc. Okay, so coding is giving number to the responses. For example, my questionnaire has options like Likert scale: strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and strongly disagree. So now I will give numbers. Say 5 strongly agree, 4 agree, 3 neutral, 2 disagree, and 1 strongly disagree. Gender: 1 female, 2 male. Okay, 3 transgenders. Say, so this is how I'll give number. It is coding. And editing, if at all any incomplete instrument, that is questionnaire, I will treat it accordingly. The researcher will decide whether to ignore that particular instrument, that particular questionnaire, or they have to treat. The treatment can be given in many ways. For example, say one of the respondent has not filled 70-second question. So now I have an option. I can ignore that particular instrument, or I can give the maximum responses given by that respondent, or I can take average of other respondent and I can apply the same answer there. So it can be different ways. Okay, so the editing problem is used to avoid errors. Okay, so removing the ineligible respondent. Okay, when there is inconsistencies, there are some. I encountered this problem when I collected data for my PhD study. through Survey Monkey, there are n number of respondents who has given just 5 or all the questions, and there are very few sorry, there are very few who has given answer in a zigzag way. For example, 5 4 3 2 1 1 2 3 4 5. So similarly, so these questions can be sorry, these respondents can be, the instrument can be ignored or rejected. Okay, then we have rules for coding. This already we have discussed. Then we have, just we will skip this. We have data analysis. So analysis can be classified into primary, secondary. Okay, sorry, analysis can be classified into univariate, bivariate, and multivariate. So univariate data, say when we analyze one variable, for example, mean, median, mode, etc. Okay, say range, quartile deviation, mean deviation, etc. Geometric progression, etc. So this is univariate. Then bivariate, correlation, regression, two-way ANOVA. Then multivariate, factor analysis, which is used to help, which helps to group data. That is, when we have say 26 variables, 20 variables, we cannot compute, we cannot calculate these number of times. So you assume there are 20 variables, I have to do correlation between and among variables, then I have to do it 20 in 20 factorial times. Okay, then it will be a laborious process, and the thesis will be voluminous. So instead of that, I can group variable based on some similarity. Okay, say for example, uh, uh, say under attracting talents, I can have workforce planning, virtual workplace, etc. Under developing talent, training and development, mentoring, coaching, etc. So similarly, the variables can be grouped, and this is factor analysis. And similarly, discriminant analysis and cluster. Discriminant helps to discriminate variable through regression equation, and for one equation we will get two variables. And cluster analysis, we will cluster based on different methods, and it's too lengthy to discuss all those multivariate analysis. Then apart from factor, cluster, discriminant, we have multiple regression correlation, multi-dimension scaling, conjoint analysis, correspondence analysis, path analysis, etc., etc. Based on the study, based on the objective, you can select the tools, whether it is a univariate or bivariate or a multivariate. It is based on the study. Okay, so next one about report writing. So whatever we have done, we have identified the problem, we have through review of literature, we have framed hypothesis, and now we have identified the tools for data collection. Then we have collected data by identifying the samples. From the samples, we have collected data. Whatever data we have collected, we have analyzed after editing and coding. Now we have a statistical score. And with that statistical score, we have to write interpretation, and report has to be prepared. The report has to be prepared considering the facts and giving information to the targeted audience, whoever it is. Okay, there are n number of report: technical, popular, academic. Okay, interim report, when we prepare the project, is lengthy one. Okay, summary report, so it can be voluntary report, authorized report. Voluntary report is self report, and authorized report is which is demanded based on frequency. Routine report every month or every year, etc. Special report, which we prepare when the special situation arises. And it can be long report, short report, based on intent, based on function, etc. And based on subject dealt, it can be problem determining, or fact finding, or performance, or compliance report, annual report, interim report, etc. Then content of report, the prefatory items. So if letter of transmittal is applicable, you have to keep, that is company authorization and company letter, the relationship, then title page, authorization letter, executive summary on abstract, an abstract for thesis, and executive summary or abstract for a papers also. Okay, next, acknowledgement, then table of content. Any report more than 6 pages should have table of content. then list of table, list of figures, the list of abbreviations for PhD thesis, then content of report. So it can be in number of chapters. So it should have introduction to the study. Introduction to study is about the study. That is, for example, the example I have given about retention in IT industry. So here, what is retention? What is attrition? What is the percentage of attrition in different sectors, different company in the same industry? And what is the impact of attrition, how to retain the variables for retention, etc. Then industry profile, in my example it is IT industry. In company profile, whatever company I consider, okay. Then product profile, if it is applicable, say if manufacturing industry, review of literature. For thesis, you can have approximately minimum of 120 literature reviews. It can be minimum, it can be minimum, so you can increase it. Then need for the study, why this study is undertaken. Say for example, the whatever the same example, the IT industry, retention in IT industry, those who have already done, they have given different variable, whereas in this study the consolidated composite effect is taken. Then objectives, it should be point by point, and it should start with 2 plus verb, whereas need for the study will be in paragraph, and scope of the study will be in paragraph. Say for example, need and scope approximately 15 lines. Then research methodology, research design, data collection, that is period sampling, tools for analysis, all these will be given here. And limitations of the study, all the study will have limitation. Okay, it can be response bias, or it can be anything, okay, time constraint, etc. Then data analysis, you can give for say marketing or a HR project. If it is done through a questionnaire, you can give person analysis and statistical analysis. And other reports, it is based on the study. If it is a financial report, analyzing the financial statement of a company, it can be schedule of changes in working capital, ratio analysis, etc. Then trend analysis, then summary of findings, recommendations. It can be suggestions or recommendations. Suggestion for MBA project, recommendation can be preferably for thesis. And conclusion, and appendices, and bibliography. Okay, so whatever you have given as annexure, it's a questionnaire, or if it is a financial statement, or if it's an operation logistics project, the vehicle routing and supplier information, etc. And it is bibliography. These are the content of report, and these are the need for chapterization and how the tone should be, the final proof, etc. So ethics, already we have seen the ethics of report writing, that should not be no plagiarism, paraphrasing, quotation. You should see content consent of the person who has included in your report, that is you have included in your report. Then incentive should be provided, no sensitive information should be revealed, that is to outsiders, no harm should be caused, already we have discussed confidentiality, and no misconduct. Okay, these are the avoid bias, give autonomy, that should be justice, fidelity, trust. Then beneficence, respect, rigid and dignity, correct use of information, and no sucking, that is do not sell the information under the guise of survey. Okay, so with this we will come to the end of the session. So just an overview about the entire research process. Here concentrate more on every process is important, and here concentrate more on the uh, say data collection, hypothesis, then say tools used for analysis, sampling, etc., etc. So these are the things pertaining to the session. Any questions you can type in chat box. With this, the session, that is the presentation, is over. Can you please post the question in chat box?
Thank you so much, sir, for a rich content presentation which can impact our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP knowledge seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for our
Thank
question
you.
answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear
Okay,
IGP
thank you.
knowledge speaker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Welcome back, sir. Welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP knowledge seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Sir, our first question is from Team. How do you balance economic growth and need for balance among economic growth, social development, and environment protection?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. And thank you, Litram sir. And thanks for the question. So, how do you balance economic growth and need for balance among economic growth and social development and environmental protection? And this is uh, the the crunchy zone. We have to have a social development and economic growth which is inevitable. At the same time, we should also concentrate on environment protection. So my suggestion is to have the spreaded development. You need not have the economic growth or societal development in a particular region. Spread it across the country so that the entire country will develop, and wherever it is possible the resources are being depleted or exhausted soon, you can uh, uh, better buy, you need not make it. Okay, so it may not be cost effective, but you can better buy it from other sources. So my suggestion is to have a spreaded economic growth. Need not have the entire companies and government offices in a single city. It can be spreaded throughout the country. It will take time. It cannot be done in a single night. It will take 20-25 years, but that is uh, the solution that strikes my mind. Only thing, when we cramp everything in a particular city, the whenever there is some natural calamity or anything, the entire thing get affected. So you can protect the environment by spreading it across throughout the country. So I guess I have answered the question, Latim sir. And
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, again,
thank you.
question from Team. Would you
Yes.
recommend a case study of government society collaboration in issue of public security or social development?
Uh, Sorry, sir, I'm not aware of that. Sorry for that.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. Sir, there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It
Thank
will
you,
add
ma'am.
some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Shall I leave, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, thank
Yes,
you.
sir, you can
And
let.
once again, Happy New Year to all. Thank you, ma'am. Take care. Good night.
Welcome, sir. Good night, sir. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the webinar certification process, the most attractive and powerful part of our regular webinar. After a short video, we will start our webinar certification. After webinar certification, we have an online quiz competition and quiz certification. Certification process. Visit www.edioigp.com. Please make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and get enrolled. After watching completing part 1, move to the next with the learning test. Passing mark 80%. If pass, back to the course again to download your certificate. If you to retake the quiz. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. For your attention, I am going to share the procedure again. Visit www.edioigp.com. Make sure your presence on our website. Find a running session and after watching completing part 1, move to the next with the learning test. Passing mark 80%. If pass, back to the course again to download your certificate. If you to retake the quiz. Download your certificate in PDF or JPG. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, it's time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Visit www.edioigp.com and sign up or sign in. Without this, you cannot join live quiz competition anymore. Browse the live quiz button or given link. Find the session name and join with your logged website or user account. Click join and wait for a few minutes for others to join. Enjoy an online live quiz competition. After the quiz, we will issue certificate for top 10 as previously, which you can find on official Facebook page and group in Institute of Global Profession. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. With 17 people, we are going to start our quiz session right now. First question is, this government allows for the creation of laws to be made directly by citizen. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer. 50% people are right here. Our second question is, what type of research views the world as being guided by natural laws that can be discovered through research? Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 77% people are right here. Our next question is, internal laws of ESC research in regulated by, is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 86% people are right here. And second question, next question is find a violation of insurance laws by an other person. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 79% people are right here. Our next question is passing laws for medical research is an example of. Is it option 1 or option 2? ব্যাগে না না ব্যাগ থেকে ওখানে আছে কালো ব্যাগ এটা লটকাচ্ছে যেটা Option 1 is the right answer. 54% people are right here. Our next question is and Lombro's own research, what percentage of criminal activity could be accounted for by atavistic feature? Is it 25% or 40%? Option 2 is the right answer. 40% people are right here. Our next question is the research for ammunition of point authorities in subtype done by a paralegal. Is it true or false? Option 1 is the right answer. 50% people are right here. Our next question is research support for depth of thought minority influence was done by. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 79% people are right here. Our second last question of the session is who responsible for enforcing the laws created by acts of parliament? Is it option 1 or option 2? ভিতর থেকে বের করো না Option 2 is the right answer. 79% people are right here. Our last and final question of the session is the branch of government responsible for implementing the laws passed by the legislature, etc. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 100% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group instead of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly feed your skill. Never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy, stay safe. See you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to a goal, not a people or things. Albert Einstein. Before I say, hit the like button. Again, want to thank all IGP knowledge seekers for your active participation as well. See you again in the next session. Thank you.